Hey guys, welcome back to some Overwatch 11:10 here, and we have some patch update news for you today. And what you're looking at right now is actually a new feature that they've just released, and it is highlights. So Blizzard have kindly allowed us to save our own highlights in a game. Let's have a quick look at it here. So basically, the system is now going to be automatically generating a highlight based on your recent gameplay. The auto-generated highlights will be classified as today's top 5, and they'll be shown on a daily basis, and they'll last for a full 24 hours. So you can exit the game and not lose them, or until the client gets patched. So if you log out on a Tuesday night before patch, grab your highlights before you log back in, because you'll lose them if there's a patch that night. I imagine that applies to mini patches as well, not just major patches. You can now generate your own highlights. So while you're in a match, you can press the capture button, which you can bind to whatever you want. Default is F9, and it'll record the last 12 seconds. Now it's important to note there's only 3 per round, but you can have a max of 36. So in any one game, you can only capture your own highlights 3 times. But the game may automatically generate additional ones for you from the automatic one. So that's important to note. And they're going to be in a new section under the main menu, which we'll look at in a second. And you can also record and save your favorites locally, so you can actually go to the highlights menu and store them outside the game, export them to a different file outside. And it looks like on PC you can have the option to select the quality, so up to 4K 60 FPS for Windows 8 or higher, and up to 1080p on Windows 7. So plenty of options. There are some other things that they're going to be doing, but we'll get into them in a second. So here it shows our menu of today's top 5, which is empty, and a recently captured, which is empty, and then you can see where you go to actually extract them. Now I did save a couple in a custom game, but they don't seem to have saved here, so this is where they'll show up. And yeah, you can export them, and that's basically the whole kit and caboodle. So that'll make it a lot easier for folks who just want to put the occasional video up on their Twitter or Facebook of an awesome gameplay that they did, or an awesome play that they saw. I believe there's also a button that you can click on that will record the play of the game at the end of a match, from what I can see on the patch notes at least. So that's pretty cool. They made some other changes, big changes to loot boxes. Oops, wrong menu. So they've given us 5 loot boxes on the PTR to test this out. Now, basically what it is they heard our feedback about loot boxes being crappy and getting duplicates, especially legendary duplicates, and even more so legendary duplicates of anniversary or other event skins. Feels totally terrible to get a legendary non-event skin out of an event loot box. That should be, in my opinion, much more likely to be an event skin. But what they've done is they've drastically reduced the amount of duplicates that you will receive when opening a loot box. Second, to compensate the reduction of duplicates, they've increased the overall amount of credits you get from a loot box. So basically, you should be getting just as many credits, if not more, from loot boxes before these changes went through. So we're going to open some loot boxes here and see if I get any duplicates. Okay, so that's actually very surprising. No duplicates there. Well, I guess it's not really surprising. It means it's working properly. Prior to this, that would be very surprising. Again, no duplicates. And I'll show you my collection. It's not exactly small. Goes the third one. Okay, so we got a new emote. Again, no duplicates. No legendaries, but that's fine. Okay. Right. Again, no duplicates. So it looks like the higher the more filled your collection is, the more likely your duplicates will be. Again, no duplicates. What do we get here? 150 currency. So we got several new things there, which is in fact all new things. So let's look at the gallery, and you can see I have quite a lot of stuff unlocked for most of the characters: 44, 39, 40, 44, and not one single duplicate there. So that makes me a lot more confident in buying loot boxes when it comes to an event, actually dropping cash on them. I'm super happy with that change. I think it's fantastic. It means that newer players will most likely build their collection up to about 50-60% before they start seeing duplicates. At least based on that small sample size, really makes it much more appealing for newer players to just buy loot boxes to get those skins to try and catch up with the rest of the community. So I'm super happy that they've done that. Final thing here is they made some changes to made some bug fixes. So a long-standing bug with Sombra was that she would take damage or could take damage after activating Translocator. That's been fixed, so she no longer receives that damage. I'm not sure exactly what condition you need to meet to have that happen, but it was quite frustrating when you died mid-translocation. There's also a bug being fixed that was allowing Roadhog to chain hook onto Orisa's supercharger. Now it's interesting that the feedback for the Roadhog changes and the McCree changes has been very mixed. As you know, the recent patch changed Roadhog's firing rate, increases firing rate, reduces damage. A lot of people are pretty unhappy about that, and it's been mixed feedback. I think he's better, or at least I think he's more user friendly, but perhaps not as lethal. So I guess someone said he's less night and day. So I guess that's a good description, I suppose. McCree, his ultimate was changed to lock on at 0.2 seconds as opposed to 0.8, I think. So again, his Deadeye is now a lot more lethal, which again, like I mentioned in the original video I did about this, I think it's pretty good overall. So I think the game's going in a good direction. This loot box change is fantastic. I think that's pretty much it, apart from some smaller bugs that they've fixed. I don't think there's anything else. Oh, another big thing that I actually did forget, definitely shouldn't forget that, is the change the reticles. So you now have the option to make your own custom reticles. So you go under Controls, under Reticle, and click Advanced, and you select the type of reticle you wish to edit. So let's go with not default but circle, and you can actually change the color, which was already there, but you can now also change the size and the width of various different portions of the reticle itself, including dot size, opacity. So this should be a really helpful new tool for folks who don't like the default crosshairs that they've been given. I don't want to mess up my own too much because I like the default ones, but you get the idea. If we go into, you can have the bloom, so it shows you what it's like blooming on and off. If we go into the circle and crosshairs, you can get quite large crosshair. Yeah, depending on your visual needs, you can make it quite large and quite easy to see. I think something like that for Zarya might not be a bad idea for her beam, so you can tell the kind of width that it's hitting if it's at max power level. But yeah, play around with these and you'll be able to find something that works for you, I'm sure. If people can't find a custom setting on their reticle that works for them with these settings, I don't know what else Blizzard can really do to help you. I think they've given you plenty of opportunity to make a good reticle for yourself with these additional customization options. So I'm really happy with that. That is actually it, I believe. Let me quickly glance through our patch notes here to make sure I didn't miss anything major again. Yeah, the major three things were the loot boxes, the reticles, and the highlight reels. So the new map is live, Lunar Colony. At this current time, this is on PTR, so it doesn't show me the arcade, but at this current time you have a 6v6 exclusive to Lunar Colony, which means you'll get guaranteed access to that map, or you'll get that map guaranteed. And there is I think it's a 6v6 low gravity on the same map, or rather it's a 6v6 low gravity on a map rotation. So the only way to guarantee get a game in Lunar Colony right now is to go into arcade and do the 6v6 standard elimination. So get practicing on that map, guys. It is out in competitive, but if you want to practice the map before you get into competitive, go and do that. So yeah, just a quick update, guys. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you got some good information. and I'll see you guys next time.